All right, so example D. So again, it doesn't matter if I turn the left side into the right or the right side into the left. If we were in class, I would probably literally take a vote and say, what do you guys want to do? And we'll just try something. Both of these, whichever way you go, I would start off the same way. Okay? I've got a 1 minus sign here. I've got a 1 plus sign here. Those are very close to looking like Pythagorean identities, but they are not. So that's probably what I would do, is that I would take either the 1 plus sign, so I'm going to turn the right side into the left. I would take the 1 plus sign, multiply it by its conjugate, 1 minus sign, and then that's going to magically give me one of those Pythagorean identities I want. And if I did the left into the right, I would have multiplied that by 1 plus sign. So either way, when I see that 1 minus sign, 1 plus sign, 1 minus cosine, I'm going to multiply it by its conjugate and see, so I can create a Pythagorean identity and see if that kind of helps me. Okay, so I'm also going to have to do that to the bottom, 1 minus sign. All right, so I know that when I multiply these two together, I get 1 minus sine squared. The bottom, I'm going to leave as is. I'm not going to actually multiply. I want to see where I'm at, and then maybe if I need to, I can do that later. Okay, but what's going to happen is the 1 plus sine squared is cosine squared. So I'm using my Pythagorean identity to simplify that into one expression. There's also a cosine on the bottom, so I got a feeling I want to cancel that. This cosine will cancel with that cosine, and I'm left with cosine over 1 minus sine, which means I'm done. That's what I was supposed to do. So at the beginning, these are gonna feel rough, okay? But as you start to kind of see some of the same little tricks over and over, you're gonna come up with ideas, and some of these really aren't that bad. Okay, so like this one. This one's a little messier looking. Okay, I've got a tangent squared, I got a cosecant, I got a secant. There's a lot going on right here. Well, right away, 1 plus tangent squared. That reminds me of something. Okay, let's take a look at the other page. What was it? It was 1 plus tangent squared. Well, this one says tangent squared plus 1, so that's the same thing, equals secant squared. So that means I can replace this with just secant squared. Okay? So let's see where that gets me. So secant squared of x, this is using an x instead of a theta like the other ones. No big deal. Cosecant x times secant. Secant x. Alright, so what do we have? We have a secant on the top, secant squared, and we have a secant on the bottom. So let's let that cancel one of those. So that gives me secant over cosecant. Now, I'm supposed to be turning this into tangent. I have no idea how secant and cosecant relate to each other, okay? Let's rewrite these in terms of sines and cosines and see if that helps. So secant, I'm gonna go this way. I'm starting to run out of room. Secant is 1 over cosine. Cosecant is 1 over sine. But dividing a fraction by a fraction is the same as multiplying by this fraction's reciprocal. So my 1 over sine is going to become sine over 1. So that means the sine is going to be in the numerator. The cosine is going to be in the denominator. And last time I checked, sine over cosine is tangent. I'm done. Okay? All right, last example. Now, what do we got here? 1 minus cosecant alpha. Okay, they're changing the variable on us. No big deal. 1 minus cosecant alpha times, these two things are multiplying each other. Okay? Times sine cubed equals cosine squared. All right. Cosecant and sine. Cosecant is 1 over sine alpha. It's being multiplied by the sine cubed alpha. But if I got a sine down here and I've got a sine cubed, that means I can cancel one of these with one of these, and now I'm going to get 1 minus, what do I have, sine squared alpha? but 1 minus sine squared is the Pythagorean identity, which means I have cosine squared, which is what I wanted to prove. So that's it. Okay, it's done. So take a look at some of these problems. Again, don't be afraid to just try something. You have to try something. Okay, if it doesn't work, erase it, try something else. Okay, but you won't get anywhere by just looking at it and going, ooh, I don't know what to do. Okay, so give them a shot and let me know if you need any help.